good evening. Saturday night. I think it is June 6th. Yeah,
Sure.
2015. This is Jaded, Kim Ochelli. I almost said Kimberly Ochelli. Whoops. And it's what, 10 o'clock over here on the east, and you know what time it is where you all are at, so
Maybe.
maybe. And if you don't, well, that's alright too. Anyway, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. This is an interesting week, to say the least. I fell off the deck. And it's a good thing I swallowed all that bubble gum when I was a kid because I didn't get too badly hurt. Just enough to have soreness in my old age. Yeah, that's interesting.
That kind of sucked. God, that window being open means that pit bull gets to bark on the microphone, by the way.
Oh, that's a different pit bull. Don't get me started. But anyway, Alice's boo-boo is healing up nicely. And I'm just going to throw this out there because, I have this really bad habit of thinking of things after the fact. But, everybody in the chat room was all dogging me because I'm going on that pit bull rant. Not a one of you asked me how my dog was. So, take that one home. That irritated me. You're all pissed off that I don't like the pit bull, but not one of you asked if my dog was okay. So, I know where it's at. And speaking of that, I can be a sappy individual at times. Vince is going to have to wait a minute because I'm talking.
Okay. Vince, if you're listening...
Hold on a second.
Kim, put you off for now.
I can't do two things at once.
Okay.
Come on now. Oh, see, I can't even have a cigarette and talk on the same time.
That's all right. Long as you're burning me, it's okay.
Where was I going? Oh, well, I have to do my thank you again to Nikki, my newfound sweet angel, who helped me get Alice better since we don't have a vehicle to get her to the vet. She helped me get her better, and the wound is like half the size that it was. But what I find interesting in all of this is how many, and this is the sappy minute, the sappy moment, how many people that we have met but haven't really met just over the internet and like doing the shows and interacting with different people. What truly wonderful friendships have been formed with these people. Like Nikki and I talk almost every day. Daniel and I talk for hours. And we've never actually met face to face. But yet there's such a strong friendship and bond that it doesn't matter if we never met them. That's just my sappy moment. I think it's great. Because there's people that I've known for years and years and years that I wouldn't have these type of bonds with that I have with people that I've met through your show and through, mostly your show because nobody calls into my show except a couple drunk people here and again.
Yeah, they call into your
My
show.
cracker call, and Vince calls me, who I just blew off for a moment. I'm sorry. And what else? Let me give you the Frankie update. What is it? Oh, he was hell on wheels today. Oh my god. I don't even remember him walking, to be honest. He just got up and started running.
Yeah,
He runs. And if he knows that he has something in his hand that he's not supposed to have, he looks at you with that sweet, beautiful smile, and it's very, that laugh is very diabolical, and he hauls ass across the living room. But he has not yet learned that he can't run into the corner because Mama will catch him if he runs to the corner. He hasn't learned yet.
Plus, he now growls at guys in the store and and makes smiley faces and stuff for the ladies.
Yes.
So he does that.
Well, he wears
everywhere
his
he
little
goes.
shirt that says "Chicks dig me," and they're little baby chicks.
Little chickadee outlines.
Chickadee, little not chickadee.
Chicks dig me.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
No, I love
Anyway,
that shirt.
I don't really. There's a few news things out there, but anyway, I just wanted to say, to the people, and they all know who they are. But I always have to say thank you to Nikki because I was outright hysterical. I thought Alice was going to die. I really did because I've never seen that before. I've never had a dog attacked before. I've never had any of my animals attacked. My children?
Yeah, well, to recap for the listener, because apparently there's a little confusion about this, the pit bull down the street took a chunk out of our dumb dog, Alice in Chains, who we call Alice, when she went over to play with the dog.
Unfortunately, her chain doesn't work too good.
Yeah, chain. Well, she slips out of her chain and stuff. She is smart enough to do that every now and then, so she's not completely.
She hops up and down in the air like a rabbit.
Or well, she's not complete. She's just a weird breed of dog because she's like a Jack Russell
I don't know what
slash
she is, but
golden
yes.
retriever like dog, and you know, it literally ripped a chunk out of her, and
Yes.
you know, when she went over to kind of play with it when she was running around loose in the neighborhood, which she shouldn't have been, but
Well, I was going to get her and they saw me, but that's a whole long story that I don't want to get into again because it'll make me sick to my stomach.
yeah, well, let's not do that.
But Nikki spent hours with me
Right.
on on the back and forth texting, what to buy, make sure you do this, don't do that. If she's doing this, be careful. It was just,
Course,
somebody that I've never met before.
Of course, I had to get woke up to control the dog's bleeding and put a bandage on her.
Yeah.
Everything else too. I did a little work.
Although I am the EMT. Oops.
Yeah, I know, but I did a little work.
You did. You helped me.
So.
Do I have to thank you? You want me to thank you?
Well, no, but you
Thank
could just
honey.
acknowledge that I did make
You
sure
did.
the dog didn't.
You went down
bleed
the
to
street
death
and got everything we needed, and I
got
love
the
you
stuff.
for that because you
Got the
saved
stuff.
my puppy. There's Vince. All right, I'm done now.
All right.
You can
so
answer.
Now we'll let Vince tell you something drunk in one way or
Oh, it's
another.
Vince drinking.
Yeah, but
Hello, Mr. Easley.
can you tell?
Yeah.
Can you tell?
I love you so much. Look.
Can you
let
tell
me
that Vince is
apologize
drinking? I wonder.
Firsthand.
Yeah.
Now, Chuck knows me as the person I made to present myself at right now. But I got a pretty good little buzz going, and
you my
I feel
drunk caller,
like,
Vince?
huh?
Are you my drunk caller for the week?
I'm your drunk caller, and
Sweet.
wait a minute, hold on.
Well, every week we have to have.
Stop. Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
Oh my God! I almost fell on myself. Fuck.
Well,
Okay,
that's
I'm
some
free.
talent if you
I'm
fall on
naked
yourself.
now. I have no clothes, and I present myself to you, Pearly, naked. Pearly or purely. I'm not even sure which word I would use at this point.
What would you like me to do with your nakedness, Vince?
Okay. I'm completely naked.
I heard.
Literally and figuratively, I present myself to you.
Well, thank you.
100% pure.
Well, that's awesome.
Pardon the
Nope.
smell. I'm sorry. I just farted, but that was only a temporary arrangement. So make no notice of the smell.
A
Well,
fart
good
is a
thing
temporary
we're not on
arrangement.
Center Radio because that would suck.
A fart is a temporary arrangement. Coming soon, UCY Scratch and Sniff cards. Presented to you by Vince Easley. Yeah.
Listen, all you got to do is go to the Google search for, oh my God. My mind blank, but down there at the bottom, any page you come to, your CY, I think you might find when you're going to regret making a purchase because it's just done automatically. There is a position and a place that you might do this, and just look through UCY.tv and just add to that. Okay, wait,
right.
I'm going to be back serious again.
Okay.
You believe me.
Well, no. See, just
No.
because I say it like I believe you doesn't mean I really believe
Okay, do you believe I'm really naked?
you. Well, see, that's a tough call. There is a possibility of it.
Why not? I do my.
I'm going to turn the camera on. I'm in chat right now, so everybody, call in. This is going to hit you in a minute.
Okay.
I'm probably going to go change my profile picture and make you naked. But listen, the really reason that I did call in, even though I'm in a bit of a figure-up situation, all purposeful and gladfully where I'm at, look, I'm going to talk about friends. I'm going to talk about how we talk to each other. And, hey, we all are friends right here. And if you're listening, we are definitely all listening because I'm looking at the numbers right now. But those that ain't listening right now will be listening a little later on.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Chuck.
Vince, I'm trying to control
Yeah.
myself, man,
Vince,
but come on.
You're pretty cute right now, Vince.
I'm what? Wait a minute. Tell me again, Kim.
I said you're pretty cute right now, Vince.
I'm naked.
I heard.
We got that.
Oh my God! This is the terrible part.
Why?
You want to hear the terrible part?
The
Would
fact that
you?
you're naked is terrible.
Yes. Today.
4 out of 5
Well,
female
when I
listeners.
say today, I mean like I already like today. I'm revealing it that I already realized that crikey. That's a good word, right? Crikey. Have you heard that word, crikey? It's Australian, I think. Anyway, crikey, mate. I realized that I'm 50. I'm old. What am I doing here? Why am I trying to even make any sense about what the hell I'm trying to make any sense of? People have questioned you, Chuck, about you're the blind JFK investigator, and I think that's so perfect because you need to. You, me, everybody else needs to take a look differently, a blind look, because everything we think we know is perceived from some type of notion that was like given to us. Most of us have no friggin' idea. I'd like to cuss it, but I'm not going to. I won't say. Did I say fuck already? If
Probably.
I did, I won't say it again. I'm sorry. Okay, let me continue. All right, stop. Beyond fuck, what the fuck is God? Ooh, I almost said another cuss word. What is really going on, okay?
I'm gonna wash your mouth out with soap.
Vince. Look, I don't care if you said fuck. Let's try and get to a point, though, here.
What do you want to tell me?
Some point, please, sir.
I think your son looks a whole lot like me.
Yeah.
Look, there's no problem with giving it easy last name. It's real easy. That's what my last name is, easily. And if anything happens to Chuck, which he probably will, because I've been outside your window and watching everything that's going on. Oh, this goes way, 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 way back to another unfunny joke. I'm sorry. If you're not following with this, no, seriously, Chuck and Kim is my good friend, and I'm just trying to be funny. But I think Frankie looks a whole lot like me.
Well, that would be one hell of a magic trick, my dear.
When's the last time you ever know me to be to South Carolina?
I'm not in South
Well, we're
Carolina.
not in South Carolina,
so,
so it really doesn't matter. And Francis was conceived in another state in the Union, so if you were in South Carolina, it really would have nothing to do with Frankie.
You bust me out on my. Hey, but Chuck, you got to know that everybody, including me, is like in love with the husband.
Oh, well, thank you.
Everybody likes Kim. She's a lot more likable than I am, and there you go.
Oh, stop it.
So.
Well, you know, all that matters is that I love you. That's all that matters.
That's true.
Well,
at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Let me re-add my disclaimer. I'm a bit buggered up and having a good time, and
that's what it's all about.
I missed Chuck. I'm sorry, I missed your guest, and I was really meaning to give a good listen. But I stepped out, went in another direction just for a little while, and I come back in. So I will be listening. And you know what, Chuck? All your work that you do, I'm very proud that where you position it in so many places that a person has the opportunity to go retrieve it.
Next
I said this the other night. Somebody said,
okay.
Wait,
okay.
Give me a minute, and I'll give it back to you, Chuck.
Okay.
A person said, what difference does it make about the JFK deal? Well, my response was that it is just as important as 9/11, because anytime somebody's given up on asking the serious question, then hey, look, it don't matter if you're right. These other fellows was right or wrong that you've talked to, and I've been hearing a lot of people, because you're bringing them together, Chuck. It don't matter if I agree or disagree, because there's no possible way that I could ever have all the facts about any pertinent information. So this is what I got to say. Listen, agree or disagree, I think we're gonna all eventually agree about what's really wrong and what's really right. Bam, I'm gonna hang up with y'all because I ain't trying to be. No, I am. I got a good buzz, so I very seldom ever have one. It's probably 420 somewhere.
There you
Love
go.
y'all. Thanks, Kim, Chuck. Y'all the greatest, and everybody there. Oh wait, before I hang up, let me say this. This will go back a little ways. Cracker, listen. Let me apologize to you. I understand your position. I respect it, and I give you honor. This goes way back with Daniel. Honestly, I probably have a little bit more agreement with Daniel than I do with you, and I understand what he said. But I do understand what you said. I deleted your one comment about whatever, you know, I know. But what I want to say is I think that we all need to find where we agree and can go forward. And my apology to you. I see you right there in chat. I will take the wrong. I went too far. But I still think that I was right in my position, and I'll go back to Daniel, and I think he was right. He had the right to say, because, you know, everybody has the right to question who we are, you are, or they are. This needs to be addressed, okay? And what Walter and I talked about on the trivium, on the nonviolent communication, and so forth, we need to all step back and look at how we're addressing one another. So big love to you, Road Dog, Baconator, Cracker. Kim, you're fucking awesome. If oh my God, are we did I say fucking on communicated radio?
I guess you can.
Chuck, you're awesome.
It's about 4 or 5 times now, so if you can, you
Well-
can, and if you can't, well, you already did, so there you go.
Being that
Well-
I'm the only one that really hasn't voiced an opinion about this whole thing since it did start on my show with Cracker, I happen to be very fond of Daniel, and you know, whoever doesn't like that, that's not my problem. That's their
I
problem.
love Daniel. He has he has written the most incredible book that I've ever read. Redden. Is that a word? Redden?
Written
Read?
that you wrote.
Read.
That
No,
you read?
no, that he's ever read the book. He
I'm
didn't read
playing
the
with
book. He didn't written the book. He
Well-
read the book.
To go in,
Yeah.
to go more into, you know, this is just what I think about the whole thing. I think everybody is entitled to their opinion. I think that there are many solutions to the problems that we're looking at now. And I think this is, again, my opinion, and if people don't like it, well, it's their option to do so. I think that the entire gist of the letter was taken way out of context. It wasn't an attack on any individual person. I think it was more of a rebuttal against an idea. And if we can't do
I
that,
agree.
if we can't do that,
Can I-
then you know what? I'm done doing a radio show because I'm not going to censor anybody's opinion. Everybody's entitled
Right.
to
Can
have
I
their
add to that,
opinion.
Kim?
Well, I didn't really have a question, but go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to respond to a question, but
Oh.
I'd like to respond that. Okay, and I had to pause for just a moment without trying to disrespect anybody.
Mhm.
Cracker's a strong man. He represents a strong ideology. Okay, this is what there's a big portion or proportion of America that would be or hope to be as Cracker is. All right, this man has served his country.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we gotta go all back to this. Let me just escape trying to explain all my explanations. Okay, Cracker's a good man. These men that have agreed with him and opposed Daniel, unfortunately, did not understand what Daniel Lewis Crumpton, whom I consider to be a fantastic person and has a lot of great information. Everybody misunderstood each other, and I think if we paused for a moment, we would have the same understanding. I'm not going to explain further than that, but there was a big misunderstanding, okay? I think everybody, if we went back, we have the
How long
same
do we want to prattle on?
ideology.
I mean,
Sorry, Chuck, go ahead.
no, what I'm saying is, how long do we want to prolong this? Everybody wants to apologize to everybody who is, particularly entrenched in the chat rooms and everything else here. I am tired of the subject, and
I'm
you know
sorry.
what? And
My bad.
people, no, and you know what?
You're
People
entitled
cannot.
to speak what?
You're entitled to speak, but you know what? I'm tired of it. Everybody's got to turn around and come up with these recriminations and apologies to everybody and all this other stuff.
Perfect.
And you know what? I'm done with it. Personally.
You're awesome, Chuck.
Personally, and that's all there is to it. If you want to support somebody because they're your friend, that's great. You want to support somebody because you just absolutely believe their ideas are great, that's wonderful. I don't necessarily subscribe to any one man's opinion on anything. I don't get behind any one particular individual because I've never seen anybody that rises to that level in my estimation. And the only time that you get involved with people whose ideas and thoughts you're not allowed to question, it's usually something called a religious cult, and this is just a wonderful way to handle things, I guess. Not my style. I don't care anymore. That's what it's come down to, and I realize that you want to have this discussion.
Great.
It's cool, but that's where I stand on it.
Well, see, here's the problem, though. Everybody else got their opportunity to scream and yell, and I don't do that unless somebody fucks with my kids or my husband and my pets. They don't scream and yell, but that's I've already stated my opinion, and I think everybody is entitled to believe what they believe, and I really hope we don't end up in a world where I got to strap a fucking I don't know what kind of gun, an assault rifle, to my 5-year-old's back to be able to defend what's his. I don't want to see a world like that. Nor do I think we're all going to hold hands and, rock back and forth and, sing hallelujah either. But I think everybody deserves the respect to voice their opinion without being attacked and without repercussion. And I got to be honest, I'm not happy that I can't have him on my show anymore because of this bullshit. I happen to enjoy, and so do a lot of my listeners who aren't in the chat room, just people who are friends of mine, really enjoyed listening to him talk and the bullshit, shows that I had that were funny as hell. Well, you know what? I can't have him anymore because some people got their panties in a wad, and now, I lose. And so do the people who enjoyed listening to him. And that's really all.
Yeah, can we stop for a minute and just say we had some type of disagreement and back up, and that's what Walter and I was talking about in Trivium today. Chuck, look, I know if I was there, like listening to you say about who Vince Easley is, you'd say, oh, there'd be a lot you'd say. But anyway,
no, you're a great guy,
part
Vince.
of it.
And you're a peaceful. You're a great man, and you're a peaceful individual. There's nothing wrong with that.
But I'm a big dumbass. I'm not going to admit or just not admit that.
You're not quite as dumb as you let people think you are. Okay, so that's a whole other topic. But look,
let me back up just a little bit, and
okay.
I'm sorry, Kim, but Daniel had a lot of good points. It was missed because, and I would invite y'all to go back and listen to the Sullivan event today and last week. And Walter and I was talking about understanding one another while we speak. That was a big problem right there. I think, and you know what? I let my pride, my ego take hold, and I let an excavation occur. My apology, Cracker, because even after this specific, but on down, if I have to insult you, I'm a sorry son of a bitch, and that's my bad. But anyways, what Daniel had to say was, I think, had validity. What you had to say had validity. Hemi, this dude's awesome. Look, so many people had such an emotional impact for themselves and others. I don't know. I'm just always a peacemaker, and
Well, you try
even
to
though
you try
I'm an asshole, and I'm proud to be.
you try to be a peacemaker, and I know you love everybody and all that kind of stuff, but you know what? This is not even. I don't want to spend my time trying to sort out what's going on in the chat room every 5 minutes either.
Well, and at the
On
end of
the
the
air.
day,
Yeah.
you know what? Does it really matter who speaks in what accent and what color they are and what origin they're from? No, because you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm really good friends with people that I've never seen face to face, and that includes you, Vince. I have no idea what you look like, but it doesn't matter to me because I like the person
I
you are.
can send you a screenshot, Kim. I'm completely naked. I'd like to bare myself completely.
I've heard.
I did remind everybody that I had been drinking, and I am drunk.
Is that your
Normally, you don't hear me except for in my earlier years as
It likes to hit on blondes, so there you go.
I'm not.
You're blonde at the moment.
Blonde.
Blonde, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I am.
I said, yeah, there you go, proof. All right, anyway. And Vince likes to hit on blondes, so there we go. Okay, so we have this happening.
There we go.
There it is.
That's a
And
wonderful start to Saturday night.
Start. It's like 20 minutes. of
Well, you know what,
going back
Vince,
over
I
there.
actually thank you for bringing it up because I felt that I never got to speak what I wanted to say about it, and it did start, with Cracker voicing his opinion on Jaded, and again,
I
everybody.
think you're right, Kim. I think it's a fair point. I feel a little jaded myself, and that's why perhaps I even brought it up.
Well,
But look.
that's the name of the show, so.
Yes.
All right. So,
Well, thank you for calling, Vince, and if you're feeling happy naked, then you know what? Good for you, man. Good for you.
be naked, be happy, and enjoy your time
Your
in the
nakedness
mountains,
and
your
all of
nakedness,
its
and all of its nakedness.
Yo,
and you are...
road dogging. I'm going to pass this off. I really, no, seriously, let me back up. I've been a whole lot funny or thought I have been. I think right now what really Jaded represents and what so many people do not understand is that this is our chance. And if you'll look into posting, Jaded, a round table.
Yeah, you always post
Got
for
a
me.
number
Thank
to
you,
call
Vince.
in. Huh?
You always post for me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I may not have tonight, except
Well,
for
that's
the
a-
initial posting.
That's all right.
I set everything up. This is a big shout out to Jules, and I'm so proud to be a part of UCY. I've not lived up or done all that I said or hoped that I would be, especially with Chuck, because this right here, this guy is awesome. And I've heard people say, what does JFK have to do with anything today? And I will tell you, it has everything to do with what is today, because it's all conspiracy. That's crazy conspiracy. No, it's not really.
Well,
This
here's
is the
the
way
thing.
the
Here's
whole machine, the whole machina, the environment, everything that we suppose we know happens as it does. And
and out of like 200 and something shows, it's not as though 100 of them or 150 of them were JFK shows.
Well, let me
So-
throw
how
this
many
out.
were you naked? Why you did them?
Like 3.
No, it's
Three.
more than that. I've done more shows than that naked.
Oh, and you didn't tell me?
Okay. let me interrupt one more time, and I will hang up. Cracker, I have a lot of respect for you. I understand the aspect of society where you're from, and I think Daniel. Well, I think he approached it wrong. I'll be honest, but he did give good creditation to an idea. I was later, chided upon my decision for credit or discredit or whatever, censor. So, look, anyways, I think we need to all concentrate just a little better upon communicating with one another a little more better. So all my faults, I'm sorry, and I'm going to quit. I love you, I said Tim, Chuck and Kim. That's a good name. They got those like publicly, like right? Tim's y'all's name. I just made it up. That's all I'll make.
All right.
Well, let me
like paraphrase plagiars and shit.
Well, this is Kim's show.
Vince, you asked a question about why JFK is important. Now let me just say something about that. In 40 or 50 years from now, when I know I'll be dead, but my grandchildren are they not to think that 9/11 was an important event in this country's history? Because if that's the case, what the fuck is the point of even bothering then? These things have to be put up because history repeats itself over and over and over again.
Bet your ass, baby.
So, to say that, it's, what's the point of that? Then you know what? You need to do a little bit more research and you need to read a few more books if you really
God,
think,
right, huh?
If you think there's no point.
Chuck is the fucking man.
He is the fucking man.
I didn't mean to say fucking.
He is the fucking man. Because you know why?
That's right.
He's my man. That's why.
Yeah, he's my good friend, too. I love you, Chuck. I love you, Kim. And I still think that Frankie looks a whole lot like me.
All right, well, I'll have to explain that to him when he gets a little bigger.
Yeah, well,
a little older.
Kind of funny because he's sort of estimation.
I'm only kidding a little bit.
Okay.
I ain't never, really and truly, I ain't never even met neither one of y'all in person, but we do have a connection. I felt this for a long time. Listen, for real, I love y'all, and I apologize for all my misconceptions, all my asininity, Cracker, especially to you. Even though, should I even say it? I'm sorry, Cracker. I agree with what you represent, but I disagree as well as what you are represented as. I think Daniel had a valid point. I think he took it too far. I think we all do that. This just happens to be a great forum right here where we're presenting ourselves or representing ourselves or representing ideas. Hey, well, just a little bit buggered up, me, especially right now. So.
All right. Well, look, Vince, I'll tell you what, man. I think you said everything you wanted to say here, and I want to kind of let that go. And you know what, brother? Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Be naked. Get muddy. Stay dirty, my brother. Enjoy that. You are a Bigfoot, so be a Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you said that one time, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to shake it. If you got access to my video cam, boom, there it is.
There it is. All right. And that was Vince Easley. So, of course, if you want to join in on the discussion, you can do so. Also, 718-717-8296. Or if you're on the Charles.Ochelli, space Ochelli, because now they added my last name to it, Skype list, Charles.Ochelli is the contact. You can just make a contact request, and I will accept it and add you in on the air also. And as you can see, we do have patience with even somebody who is rambling a bit, not necessarily making loads of sense, but hey, there it is. So, let us get back to some discussions here regarding things that are a little more current and a little less personally aggravating to me. Okay?
What's that?
Well,
Well,
I don't know.
I know it's, it was like 6 weeks ago, but I honestly felt like I never got the opportunity to say what I wanted to say. And it, like, each week that kept going by, it's almost like, well, what's the fucking point now?
Well, right, and I don't want to keep revisiting it
No,
because
I don't
and I don't
either.
want to keep talking to the chat room like as if we got to address everything that's in the chat room because this is not just for them. Sorry, it's not.
No,
So,
no, no. It's and
if he wants to
absolutely.
do that in chat,
If you like me and you want to listen to me, that's great. I love you for it. And if you don't, well, I'm sorry about that too. It is how it is, and I don't sit here and worry about who, and I never did, who likes me and who doesn't. You know what? I'm my own person. I've always marched to the beat of my own drum. Hence why I probably get in trouble all the time. But you know what? I don't follow anybody. And I don't want anybody to follow me. You listen to what I have to say and you like it, great, thank you. We could probably really be good friends. If you don't, well, that's cool too.
yeah, well, hey,
It's all good.
go to one of the other tabs on the website and go ahead and grab
Send a donation to ucy.tv.
and or grab an archive and listen to somebody else's show during this time slot if you like. That's
It's
fine
all
too.
good.
Do it all, do it up.
It's all good. That's where I'm at. I just want to ask anybody who's listening real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody happen to see that video that's going viral? It's on my Facebook post, so if anybody's friends of mine on Facebook, they've probably seen it because I shared it. This friggin' woman who's taken the baby, a newborn baby, in like an old-fashioned wash pail, and was like by the arms. Now, everybody knows that infants, are fragile, but newborn babies. And she's doing it like the baby's in a washing machine. Back and forth, really fast. And then grabs this little baby by the head and is swinging the baby back and forth in the tub in this bucket. And this baby is screaming. And I think the baby, unfortunately, he passed away. And they're trying to find who, I don't know why they can't find it. But if anybody sees that, please keep sharing it, because this son of a bitch who's doing this seriously needs to be tortured for the rest of their life, very, very slowly. I think death is too good for them. I think they need to be tortured. Ever so slowly, ever so painfully. You know what? You don't fucking do that. That's disgusting. And when I saw that and I looked at our son, I think I threw up in my mouth and started to cry. I think it's horrible. So, do you have somebody... what is going on?
I can't hardly...
Why do people...
I don't... You know what? I tried to explain this on the air earlier.
A sweet seeker? Go sweet seek somewhere else, damn it.
Don't know who that is. Will you stop?
No.
You're okay, totally non sequitur. Anybody listening to this has no clue what you're talking about. So now I'll explain it.
Well, I'm pretty sure they figured it out when I said sweet seeker.
Well, they already logged out and they're gone because they sent that message during my show and I couldn't get to it. So what happened is somebody tried to private message me on the chat, and I can't see them.
Good. Let me just put a shout out there. This fish is my fish. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. Don't fuck with my fish.
It was probably just somebody who wanted to call me a scumbag for
No, it's probably something. Hi, baby. I go to university and I need money.
Yeah, right. Give me money so I can give me money so I can show you my chocha on the webcam. I know. That's about it.
Hey, if they can cook an omelet, you might be in.
Well, no,
they can't cook an omelet like I can.
I don't eat omelets.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You like my omelet.
I eat, that's really with, egg whites and a little bit of cheese, but I don't really eat omelets, generally speaking.
You dished me. Not dished. That's a good plan, too, but dissed.
I did not diss you.
Yes, you did, too. Oh, all it is egg white with cheese in it.
Yeah, what I'm saying is it's not really an omelet.
Hey, I cook you a mean dinner, damn it. Anyway.
Who the hell said you weren't a great cook? You are a great cook.
It's hot in here, and my brain is starting to scramble.
Oh, now you're going to be defensive. You said you were patient with Vince there for like 25 minutes, and I say one thing. Oh, you're picking on my eggs.
I love you.
Happy 47th anniversary to the murder of Robert F. Kennedy, by the way.
Oh, it was today?
I believe that's... Well, no, it was June... Wow, now you just put me on the spot. I think it was June 4th. But either way, I know it was the first week of June in 68, so...
Now, isn't it his son that is the big...
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.?
Yeah, who's doing all against vaccines now?
That's one of his points, yeah, but unfortunately he's the kind of guy that won't show up unless you pay him cash. because I've already attempted to get him as an interview subject on my show, and before he made his declaration about, he wants cash.
Because you need it. How about just spreading the word?
Yeah, no.
Because it's important.
Well, there you go. See, some people are pay for play,
Pay for play?
Yeah.
Oh, my. There's a lot of people like that.
So anyway.
Hi, Mr. Hopper and Mrs. Hopper. Oh, God. Road dog and you fucking Kennedy. Shush him.
Who cares about any Kennedy? Well,
I do.
Who
And it's my show.
Cares about anybody at the end of the day? We're all going to be worm food eventually. How about that? So who cares, and why are you bothering to listen to me or to anybody else? Because after all, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, does it? There. Enjoy it. It really is getting to the point where it feels like, no, I'm going to stop myself there.
Why? My show's uncensored.
Yeah, it's uncensored, but I don't want to, be a complete, miserable jerk, right now. I'll save it for now.
Save it for later?
I'll save it.
Eat some now and save some for later?
No, I'm just
Those are
going
good
to,
candies.
I reserve my right to go back on the offensive later for all of the nonsense that I've had to take doing a presentation, producing hundreds of shows, making sure that I had guests, creating graphics, putting stuff out there, making stuff accessible, trying to bring people to this network, trying to bring people to so many knowledges, regarding various situations.
Well, honey, sometimes you just, you can't get to everybody, and those people don't matter.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
at the end of the day, they're not going to do anything to fix the problem anyway. And those aren't the people that, are going to make a difference. So, you know what? Fuck them. That's
Well,
where I'm at.
I
Fuck
know.
them.
And I'm supposed to solve everything with, everything in the world is because of the Jews. So
Oh, well, I'm
that's
Mrs. Ochelliberg, so I think I need to solve that
well,
problem.
well, that's what the reality is that everything is all Jews, and that's what the problem is, and blah 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 blah, and that's all there is to it. So there, problem solved, everything solved. Everybody go back to sleep now.
Because there's the Jewish people?
Because that's
Well,
what the
boss
great
that I worked
conspiracy
for
is.
19 years, he was Jewish, and I have to tell you, he was one of the sweetest men that I've ever known. He
Oh,
treated
well,
me like
yeah.
I was his own daughter, and I'm not Jewish.
Well, it probably wasn't a real Jew. So,
No, he was.
Okay.
Because
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because
Hey!
every Jew. No, every
Lord.
Jew. No. You got. Hey, listen. If I got to take it, you got to take it.
why do I have to
every
take
Jew.
it from you?
Because I want you to understand what it's like. It's
You're
just
supposed
it's
to protect
all
me.
about the Jews.
You're my protector.
I am protecting you by simulating the event that I have to suffer through personally. Okay.
Oh, all right. That's cool.
Okay.
Moving on. What kind of things are in the news today, actually? Because, I...
What kind of things are in the news? I don't know.
Well,
what
I'm
do you
sorry.
call news at this point?
But you know what's funny as hell?
What's that?
The Caitlyn Jenner thing. Did you see that, that State Farm commercial?
Caitlyn Jenner. Bruce Jenner. Right.
That
Who
one.
now
it's
calls
3
him-
a.m. Who are you talking to? And then she says, well, she sounds hideous. And the guy says, well, he's a guy. Somebody posted that on Facebook about Caitlyn Jenner. I cracked up out loud. Some things are just funny. Whether it's inappropriate or not to laugh, if it's funny, I laugh.
Well, yeah. I
I don't
mean,
care.
I was too busy catching the fallout from yet again another one of these traumatized little children network. I mean, the TLC. That used to be called the Learning Channel, but I think
we're
it stands for
learning a lot,
traumatized
okay.
little children from the 19 and counting or 19 and kids and counting or whatever. They're molesting each other, or I don't know. The brother molested sisters and was feeling them up, and they're
Why
defending
does-
them. And
That actually makes CNN.
well,
Believe it or not.
because there's no more stories about Honey Boo Boo being molested or somebody in the family being molested, and then Mama Boo Boo brought the guy back in the house, and more of the traumatized little children networks programming,
Good Lord.
right? Isn't that part of the equation?
Is it? I don't know.
And of course we get the alleged data breach, right? That China or Japan or somebody, likely China, right? Wow, what a big shocker there. It's like as if nobody understands the mentality that all this stuff originating with either China or Japan. We don't necessarily read Chinese or Japanese over here, but hey, every piece of technology, we don't manufacture it ourselves, so it's already something alien that was introduced into the American body, as it were. So,
Well, I read an article somewhere that China wants to take some of our states because we owe them a debt. Is that true?
That's one of those theoretical
Like,
possibilities.
Oh my God. What states do they want, and why? Why did you pick those? For what reason did you pick these particular states? But I don't know.
Who knows? That's just one of those things,
What things?
One of those things that gets floated out there that's just, part of the fear porn. That's all it is. It's the theoretical extension.
To be afraid of that?
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be fear porn. It's, we're going to lose our country this way by foreclosure instead of invasion. That's the thing. So, just like we watched everybody's homes get foreclosed on.
Well, I was going to say,
we're going to watch the United States get foreclosed on. So,
Is that how it's going to work?
Yeah, of course.
Okie doke.
Of course.
That's all good.
That, along with the collapse of the dollar, which is going to happen any day now, ever since the 1980s. That even though it's collapsing in slow motion and already is what it is, and one fictitious thing can be replaced with another and propped up with further fiction, because that's the great part about fiction is you can continuously write it regardless of what the reality is.
Oh.
It's like writing cartoons. No matter how many times you kill Kenny, you can bring him back for the next episode.
That is true.
So
I didn't give out the phone number in case anybody wants to call and yell at me from my point of view, which I welcome if you'd like to. 718-717-8296. And it's 10 minutes to 11, so you got about an hour to call in and talk about whatever you want to, because on my show you're never, ever censored.
Right.
No matter your opinion.
Of course, and if you're on the Charles.Ochelli Skype list, you can join in that way too.
Sorry.
Because you use my Skype account, so that's why.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, what's the matter? Am I talking too much,
You're
honey?
talking fast.
Oh, I apologize.
Don't apologize.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Go on.
let's see. What else did we have today?
Did you see? I also saw something that Yoko Ono is claiming she had a bisexual affair, a lesbian affair with Hillary Clinton in the 70s. I laughed out loud at that.
Yoko Ono did?
Yeah. I was like, oh my.
I don't think there ever was I don't think there ever was a Yoko Ono. I think it's all a fiction,
You do?
Yeah, I think probably Paul McCartney wasn't, murdered in 1966. He probably just replaced Yoko Ono.
Wow.
Yeah, transgender. Why not? Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, that's
because
a cool way
Paul
to
is not Paul. He was replaced by a body double,
So I hear.
Yeah.
I can't follow all that ridiculous shit.
If you're completely bent, a la, Jim Fetzerland, who, finally got himself fired from Veterans Today, which is pretty funny. But and who did they replace him with? Ralph Sinkay, like one of his even more bizarre ranting and raving acolytes. I love it.
I don't know who that is.
Well, and then there's people out there that think that whole Jeff Rentz and oh God, what's that guy's name? Stu Webb, both having accidents or whatever, that there was like a hit squad out there for alternative media people. When, after all, Jeff Rentz is nothing but a huckster and a carnival barker, but really calm and smooth about it. And of course, Stu Webb, although he's got some insider information, is just one of these guys barking at the moon and making us all look bad in the alternative media. But hey.
Well, my question is then, if that's really true, why wouldn't they go after somebody who's got a lot more followers like Alex Jones? Like, why are they going after Rentz to kill him off?
Well, Rentz is pretty large and consistent. I mean, he's got his own little network. Yeah,
his voice puts me to sleep.
Alex Jones is not going to get put out because he's what you call controlled opposition. He's in exactly the position they want him in. And, nowadays, turning people from, oh, listen, don't believe in the left-right paradigm, but
He makes me crazy.
you got to remember that even though, both Republicans and Democrats are both sickening evil Satanists and all that, that actually the Republicans are a little better for you. So go with them. Go with the Republicans if you have the lesser of two evils, even though I've been preaching against that for decades. And, I'm not bought and paid for. Be nervous. Have a panic attack. Okay. So anyway, I did also remark on the fact, I did touch on this during my show a little bit, but didn't get into it too damn deeply. Of course, Hillary, I think, is just a stalking horse. She's just somebody who's being set up to fail once again, to imagine that there is some sort of alleged opposition to the continuation of the Bush dynasty regarding presidential politics. But, the truth about that is that at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter which meat puppet in chief we have residing in the allegedly white, allegedly house. It doesn't really matter. Of course, I love this though that Clinton today said, "quote stop the fear mongering, okay, about voter fraud, as if the entire process is not at this point complete fraud." And again, just like my guest said, and just like many people say, and I'm sure you'll agree that you understand now at this point that when it comes to the big banner, main events in politics, we are all looking at selected officials, not elected officials. They have been pre-selected for your consumption. They have been pre-selected to take positions in alleged positions of power.
That's
so,
silly.
Kind of ridiculous to even discuss it, right? Oh, hey, Miss Piggy got a feminist award. Did you see that?
Miss Piggy?
Miss Piggy.
Why?
I kid you not. She got a feminist award. She was on stage alongside Gloria Steinem, getting a Moving Women Forward award. I'm not kidding you.
A puppet
if you
pig?
search it,
oh wow,
Miss Piggy, who is no longer voiced by her original voice person, which was a man. Yeah, she got a feminist award for being an exemplary feminist figure, Miss Piggy.
A friggin' pig that I eat the bacon off of.
Well, not that one, because it's not even a real pig.
No,
so
I'm saying, so to speak.
Yeah, so a fake pig gets an award in a fake movement, which is meant to do nothing but be destructive and corrosive in our society. That's not to say that feminism as a concept is completely evil, but the people that control the paradigm, as per usual.
Well, I don't know, call me old-fashioned, but I really enjoy staying home, taking care of the baby, even though we're broke, and being a wife. I do. Maybe I should have been raised in the 50s or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I take great pride in being a good wife and being a good mother.
I don't know if I would have fit in at any point in time in our history, but hell with it.
I didn't say I
Here we
would
are.
fit in. I just said this is what I enjoy doing.
Well, yeah, but you said maybe you should have grown up in the 50s
Well, because,
or whatever.
like you said, women my age, a lot of them don't know how to cook. Well, to me, there's no excuse in the world why a woman does not know how to cook. I'm sorry.
Well, they don't know how to do any of the, caveman requirement things. They don't know how to cook. They generally don't know how to groom themselves really properly. I mean, a couple of them have an idea of how to use a razor, but realistically, they generally don't know how to do much of that as far as, actually accentuating their own natural beauties and stuff like that. And very few of them have any sort of proficiency in the bedroom either. So that is just
No, I don't fall into that category.
I didn't say that you fell into any of those categories, Miss Kim.
Miss Kim.
Miss Kim.
Oh my goodness.
So Hillary, of course, has the lowest approval rating she has had in about 14 years.
Really?
Yeah, she actually does. See, I'm trying to explain this to people. They go, "Oh, we're looking at a female president. We had a black president. Now we're going to have..." No, you're not. It's way too distasteful. Nobody's going to be able to pass that along. It's like saying that, they're going to make Dracula head of the Red Cross.
Cool.
It's not going to be palatable, even remotely, You'd have a better chance of having Ronald Reagan, zombie Reagan, show up and take office for a third term, I think, than Hillary getting elected or selected. I think we're looking at President Jeb, unless they've actually got an even worse agenda on their minds. Because, after all, we got to continue the agenda. And you know what? Even if somebody like Rubio or, God help us all, George Pataki, who is just another...
Where the hell did he crawl out of?
Oh, he's just
all of a sudden.
He's a seat filler. That's all he is. He's a seat filler. He's meant to go in there, raise some money, fail, give an endorsement to somebody else, and then that way he can either sell a book, make a run for Congress, or open a restaurant. That's all. That's what these guys get.
It would be a Greek restaurant, right?
Yeah,
Greek tacky?
I don't know. Who cares?
I'm just even conversation.
No, but even with his name, it doesn't even matter at this point, right? I'm sorry, I'm aggravated because we got
obviously.
Well, we got to go back to the
I
Alright.
could feel the tension.
Sorry, I'll try and get it out of my...
Cut that shit with a fucking knife,
Yeah,
honey.
but Pataki is nothing more than another stalking horse, just like Giuliani was. He was meant to go up there and scream 9/11 100 times and be a recognizable figure that people could cut down and turn over the alleged endorsement for the alleged need to collect alleged support for the alleged election, so that when the selection happens, there's a reasonable sort of doubt behind the fact that people might have actually congregated behind the one.
Who do you think is the one? Jeb? What kind of name is that anyway?
My money right now is on President Jeb. Yeah,
Shit.
it is.
Is he as stupid as his brother?
No.
He's smart?
He's smarter than his brother, that's for sure. So we will not be getting the D team of the Bush clan / crime syndicate as, the head alleged puppet in chief, meat puppet in chief. Puppet.
You're making my head hurt.
Well, all this stuff makes my head hurt, baby. Hey, how about lighter news? American Pharaoh won the Triple Crown.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Horse racing.
I know. What are you talking about?
That captures the imagination.
Well, I always said if I won the lottery, I would buy a racehorse. Because I want enough money that I can.
Nice. I don't want to own any creature myself, but I can see how that could be enjoyable.
What do you mean? We own 2 dogs.
Well, I don't feel as though we own the dogs.
Well, we're responsible for them.
Yeah, but simply because, we're responsible for Francis. We don't own him.
Damn right I do until he's 18.
Ah, okay. That's one way to look at it.
I'm his mama.
Okay.
He's mine until he's 18.
Let's see. What else did we have?
I don't know. Oh, there was another good post. I don't know if you're going back to Fail Book, but there was a pretty good one that said, why is everybody more, well, not everybody, but basically this is what they say. Why is everybody more concerned about this transformation, being, Bruce to Caitlin, than the everyday cop on the beat back when to the militarization of the place now?
Oh, Bruce with penis as opposed to Bruce without penis. Right.
Does he still have a penis, or they cut that off?
No, I think they got rid of that. Yeah.
What do they do with it?
They slice it.
Oh,
lengthwise.
no, I don't want to know how they do it.
Oh,
Do
I'm
they
sorry.
put it in a jar and throw it in the garbage?
No, that's why I was explaining. They slice it lengthwise and then turn it inside out and push it back up into the newly formed slit.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. That's what they sort of form the labia out of, so that they have those available nerve endings.
Ew. Oh, that's far too much for my brain to process.
This is
at
after
time of night.
excising the testicles from the scrotum.
Okay.
And
Oh my
also
God.
utilizing that as part of the
Ew.
fabricated
Holy
labia.
shit.
Yeah.
What in the world? I didn't even want to get our son circumcised. Can you imagine doing that kind of procedure? Good
No,
Lord.
I can't imagine what the desire to mutilate oneself that badly is. Can't
you just like tape it up there? And because Michael Obama, they had a few shots of him, whatever, when the dress.
Yeah, but that's
you can seriously see that package.
Yeah, but cross-dressing is not necessarily gender identity, or maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not up on the nuances of
think
political
that's something-
correctness. No, it might be the same thing because you're self-identifying as a female, but then again, to actually adopt female characteristics doesn't necessarily mean you're identifying as a female unless you declare it, right? Because that's what it's about, is the declaration,
I
not
don't
the
know.
physical reality.
You're talking too fast and you're confusing me.
Oh,
so
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know where I am right now other than a chair.
Listen, I'm
Oh
going
my
to sit
God.
back and relax. Only one last thing I guess I want to get to before I kind of hack on the Caitlyn Jenner thing a little more. Hack
No
on
pun intended.
like that.
That was funny.
Yeah, well, and you definitely can't be a dick when you're talking about that because that's been removed and turned inside. Okay. Next. Dennis Hastert, former Speaker of the House, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That dirty, dirty boy.
Well, when you pay off people a la
Apparently
like
it didn't work.
Michael Jackson style to have them keep their silence when you
He
sexually
wasted his
abuse
money.
them. Well, no, he didn't waste his money because he bought silence long enough for the statute of limitations to run out, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
So probably there's no criminality attached to this anymore.
really?
Yeah, and
What a slimy bastard.
the fact that it was, a $3 million
Yeah.
piece of, disgusting jailbait abuse that he dealt out.
Wow.
Well,
Does
well, that's
anybody know?
allegedly.
Does anybody know why the accused murderer of Chandra Levy is getting a retrial?
No, I don't even. Well, who cares about Chandra
I'm just
Levy, though,
curious.
really?
No, I don't. I'm just curious as to why.
I don't know. We'll have to investigate that, though. I'm sure it'll suck me in one way or another. Again, no pun intended on Caitlyn Jenner, but
This is why I watch the cooking channel.
I know, honey. I know.
Because all this other bullshit gets into my brain, and I get a headache.
But I got to tell you that what's interesting to me about this Dennis Hastert thing is that even in the state of political correctness which we find ourselves,
Who does?
well, all of us really, it's politically incorrect to identify people certain ways or to hold against them or to not want to associate with them or to not want to do business with them based on
If you're a queer,
whatever it
you're
is.
queer.
Yeah, I get that. But
Sorry.
there you go. So, let's see now. Well, what's going to happen is, with this Haster thing, is that it's going to become like a historical footnote that'll just sort of get sanitized from the record at some point. It'll be like, it'll float around later as, well, there were allegations about this or that, much like, President Lincoln having shared a bed with a man on many occasions, well, that's just sort of historical speculation from those wacky conspiracy theorists that want to tell you that anything more than John Wilkes Booth had to do with the assassination, even though the United States government not only convicted various conspirators, but actually executed them in that case. And there are still classified files related to the Lincoln assassination to this day.
Oh.
But, that's all just crazy speculation, and it'll become a historical footnote, won't it? Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, but it'll be a $3 million excisable footnote in the history books, I guess, regarding Dennis Hastert.
But, that's really no surprise because a lot of them are doing those things. They just think they're not going to get caught.
I don't know. And, back to sexual depravity news. What I found most interesting about any of the Caitlyn Jenner obsession, the Bruce Jenner sans penis discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, CNN, they're always so wonderful. The commentators they come up with.
I happen to like Chris Cuomo.
I know. I don't know why, but
I think he's adorable.
Okay, well,
that's all.
There you go. Right. And some women think that Anderson Cooper is attractive.
Oh, good Lord. No.
They do. I'm not kidding you. There are women that really...
I'm stating my opinion.
That's cool.
Good Lord, no.
No, if you liked him and me at the same time, I would wonder if your eyesight needs to be checked because we're kind of divergent looking individuals, and I'd have to question who you actually find attractive. Kill you? No, I wouldn't kill you. But this Dr. McGinley was pretty funny because Dr. McGinley, who was on CNN making comments about this great transition of Bruce Jenner to female.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Because it was like, here is
a woman who was a man.
A man who is now ready for this term. This term drove me nuts when I heard it. What? Gender confirmation surgery.
Oh, sweet.
To put a positive spin on gender reassignment. Because reassignment would mean that your gender had been assigned at one point and now it's being changed. Which seems
that's what it is,
like what it is. Yeah, isn't that funny? But they want to call it gender confirmation. So in other words, until you decided you were a woman, even though you were physically a man and all of your genetics are marked as male and all that kind of good stuff. You guys got to see the visual on this. Eyes open up wide and a finger points at me and the mouth opens.
This. I thought of it earlier. Do you know that they're saying that Bruce Jenner is from Sandy Hook in Connecticut, the fake town? I didn't get to read more on that, but I scanned that like couple lines worth, and then I couldn't get back to it. But that's kind of weird.
Well, maybe something is in the water. There's lots of crisis actors up there after all. I would have a crisis if I had my penis cut off. Anyway.
You would think so.
Yeah, but this Dr. McGinley was pretty funny because again, this was a man who had now been transformed into a woman with gender confirmation. That's the politically correct term. Surgery.
Surgery sounds just better to me.
Yeah, well, surgery and also reassignment, gender reassignment.
Yeah, reassignment.
You know.
I don't do the politically correct thing. I really don't.
Mm.
You know, I know people have a problem with using the word retarded. Well, some things are just retarded. If it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well.
Whatever.
Anyway, what I love about this whole conversation, though, is now it is leading to individuals who now, because they feel as though they are handicapped,
oh, right.
are now handicapped by virtue of their declaration. Now, I wonder about this a little bit because, see, if you decide that you have a disease,
mm-hmm.
and this disease causes your actions to be a certain way,
mm-hmm.
like let's just say you decide that being a pedophile is now a disease, and you have a disease and therefore a handicap,
you get all the benefits of being handicapped.
I wonder if pedophiles are deserving of being able to declare themselves as handicapped.
Oh, it'll come in due time, I'm sure.
I figure. Almost makes me want to join some of those conservative movements against this stuff, I'll tell you. And I'm all for personal freedoms, but to allow this to be part of the new normal is just completely bizarre. I'm sorry. It's just bizarre.
No, it is.
What other animal in nature changes its genitalia to accommodate its inner feelings?
I don't know.
I believe the answer is
Zero.
None that is known.
Zero. Yikes. I don't know. There's just so much bullshit.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you even sort through all the bullshit?
I don't know.
I don't think it's possible.
I don't know. But I think it is awfully interesting that this is what is absolutely capturing the imagination of the American people. You know, I have, 100 followers on Twitter at this point.
I have 12.
And, Bruce minus the penis has
What, 2 million?
4 million or
4
something. Yeah, that he got, that non-gender specific individual got in, because I don't even know if you're allowed to even say somebody's gender anymore. Is that part of being politically incorrect at this point?
I don't know. I really don't have an answer to that question, but I don't understand why there is so much focus on it. I mean, I'm focusing because I find it to be funny, but I'm not going to go out marching with a sign that says, whatever, it's not, whatever you said it was. It's not, it's gender confirmation now, is that what you say?
Gender confirmation
Right.
surgery.
To me, there's far more important things to be worried about, like the GMOs in the food. Oh, I wanted to share this story real quick. I have that NutriBullet thing, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. You take like fruits and vegetables and you put it in the NutriBullet, and it like does something to the cells and makes your body's able to.
Well, it pulverizes them and
Yeah.
makes them more digestible. By the way, anybody wants to join in on the conversation, I'm going to do this one more time because we are into the second hour pretty significantly.
Oh, cool.
718-717-8296.
Right.
We've only had Vince join us via Skype, kind of drunk.
And naked.
And naked, apparently. So, although that's allegedly naked, I should say, not apparently. Allegedly naked and allegedly Vince, who did, in fact, join us via Skype, which you can do also by making a contact request to, if you're not on the list
And
already.
our son allegedly resembles him.
Charles.Ochelli on Skype, Ochelli, and Frankie looks quite a bit like me when I was a little person, I think.
He's a beautiful little boy with blue eyes and blonde hair and a sweet little smile. But anyway, back to my NutriBullet.
And my hair was blonde when I was little. It's
Mine
not. Well, I'm saying, though, that, as far as looking like one of us, you say all the time, he looks a lot more like me, and I think he does resemble me as a baby, except, well, he's got a different eye set up a little bit, but the nose is definitely the same. His mouth is a little different than mine. Although he does make that big goofy smile like I did when I was a kid.
Oh, he's got my jacked eyebrows.
Before the real, yeah, she's got your eyebrow expressions, because that's one of the most profound, for anybody who's never seen Kim's face, that's one of the most profound expressive parts of her face is her eyebrows. I always know when I'm in trouble because her eyebrows go way up on her forehead and they jack up, and it just looks like she's really alert, and it really means she's really pissed. And yeah, so
Well,
that's when I know I have definitely effed up.
she's not that awesome. But anyway, the NutriBullet thing
Lately,
about he pulverizes the cells of the vegetables and the fruit and whatnot, so your body can absorb it better.
It's a high-powered blender that creates juices out of solid. Yeah,
Like
it's
little smoothie
yeah,
type things.
right, like a
Which
smoothie.
makes it easier for me to drink because I have the diverticulitis and I can't have a lot of things.
Right.
So I made this really cool concoction for the baby to try, and it was beets and all these that turns regular food into superfruit foods. So I made since it was raw spinach and beets and mango, banana, cantaloupe, and a little bit of his apple juice. And oh my God, he drank that up like it was going out of style in an hour. So I figured that's pretty cool because I can make him healthy juices instead of buying the sugary shit that he likes, the that white grape juice, but it's all sugar. So I don't want him to have it. I'm trying to be very careful of what he eats. Although I don't want to keep him in a bubble because you never know. He might go to a friend's house someday and they decide they're going to have chicken nuggets or whatever. What am I going to do?
Well, we're going to avoid most of the toxins and non-food,
Right.
alleged food as we can while he's developing, that's for sure, but we're not going to completely remove all of the garbage from his system because we don't want him to go into complete shock if one day one of his friends gives him a Twinkie and he thinks it's a good idea to eat it. I mean, because no matter what we try and teach him, he's going to try things that we don't necessarily want him to try. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't have been a drunk 9-year-old.
Oh, that would kind of be weird. Oh shit! I had something on my brain and now it's gone.
No, I messed you
Oh.
up. The NutriBullet, you were talking
Oh,
about giving him the
story's over.
juice. And,
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah, well,
That's I'm done. I just wanted
And
to
did
say
you
it's a
do-
pretty cool thing.
oh, you know,
and he
it's a
really
cool
liked
thing.
the juice.
And you were talking about how we remove most of the toxins.
Right.
Yeah.
My question is, if you go to the regular supermarket during the winter months where they don't have farmers markets open, and you try to buy organic, like we bought him organic bananas, how do you know that they're organic when all they do is stick a different label on it? How
Yeah,
do you know?
That
you
does
don't know.
happen. That does
So you're
happen.
spending, I don't know, maybe $3 more a pound for something that they tell you is organic, but you don't really know for sure. It'd just be bullshit. Oh, my naked friend is calling. Mr. Naked.
Mm.
Where'd he go?
Oh, I knocked him out
Why?
because I was trying to do something else,
Oh,
and I
give a minute, Vince.
had Skype messages going, and was trying to deal with that.
Give a couple minutes, all right there, Mr. Vince.
So yeah.
So yeah, I just always wondered that when I sit there and I look at, you can buy this organic. Although I will tell you, we've been buying organic chicken, and what a difference in the taste. It's if nobody's ever tried it, it's really pretty a significant taste difference, I think. And the skin is white, not yellow, and the dark meat of the chicken, the organic chicken, really isn't dark meat. Are you paying attention to me? Is
Well,
anybody?
I'm trying to, but the thing is, like I said, I'm dealing with this Skype messages. You're talking about the organic nature of the chicken, and the chicken is much better when it's organic. But I'm trying to do this so that it sounds
somebody
seamless.
calling?
Well, yeah, if I can actually explain to them that only call in with the Skype with the audio, not the camera.
Oh yeah, it'll boot.
Well, it doesn't boot it. What it does is it screws up the call and eats up bandwidth. So
Oh,
that's what I'm trying to explain.
that would
and
be bad.
yeah, I figured you could hold the show for a couple
Oh, I
minutes
can.
while I
I
do
just
that.
didn't know what was going on.
No,
That's all.
It's okay.
My
yeah.
brain is foggy. Well, anyway, that's all this bullshit that's going on in the news. I try to pick certain things that are important to me, because if you try to follow everything that's going on, I think your brain will implode and leak out your ass. That's what I think. So I try to focus on, the vaccinations that are bad. I try to focus on foods that aren't poisoned with every godforsaken artificial sweetener and whatnot.
Right.
Who did we join into the show?
Okay, well, I got James Easton, who just joined in, and
Okay.
Vince called back in, but let's start with James, because we already heard 20 minutes from Vince.
I've never
So,
met James before. Hello, Mr. Easton.
James is awesome. I know this guy for a long time on Facebook, by the way.
okay.
Oh, well,
Hi,
who?
how's it going?
Hey,
Good,
James, what's on your mind tonight, sir?
Oh, I got some serious shit for you guys. Sorry if I swore.
That's all right on
No,
my show.
this show, go for it. That's
He
the way that
doesn't
works.
know me.
No, you don't know my wife. This is really her show. It's just I'm here as captive
Will you
co-host.
stop saying that?
So-
You love being here with me.
Oh
I need to interrupt for one moment,
no,
if I may.
no, Vince. I'll hang
Please
up.
tell them
I'll
I
hang up.
am naked.
Vince, okay.
Naked at this.
See, that's what I did to Vince because I told him no. Let James speak first. Now I hung up on Vince.
Now you're gonna piss off my friends.
I probably just made everybody at UCY angry, but I said let James speak.
All right,
Thank you.
here it is. Anonymous put out a terrifying message today. It was in quotes, terrifying message. And it said that we're looking at July 15th date for the end of our measly existence, when all the shit hits the fan. They were talking about, he's labeling whatever. Anonymous was saying all kinds of stuff that is relatively true, and so I followed up with my own announcement to say that this was made, and it's the first of its kind in that it talks about this thing happening. That people will be rounded up in terms of 3 categories. Everybody's got a sticker on their mailbox, and it went through the entire scenario.
But isn't the sticker on the mailbox? Isn't that kind of old news? They're just bringing that up now.
Probably, but it's just sort of reiterating.
I don't have a sticker on our mailbox.
Yeah, I don't have one on mine either. I'm in Canada, mind you, but I assume they're going to do the same shit here too.
What does that mean if you do not have a sticker? They just shoot you in the head, sight unseen?
They're like, we don't know what to do. We're dumb bonehead military assholes, so we'll just shoot them. I don't know.
I'll tell you where I fall on this whole thing real quick, and then I'll let you get back to it, James.
Okay.
I believe that this is yet another one of those doomsday predictions that is not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to happen here is afterwards, after somebody calls them out on this, somebody is going to say, well, the plan got changed because we got the information out, or some other excuse will be given.
Because they passed the Patriot Act again.
But this is not going to happen. Okay? I really feel that way. But again, sir, go right ahead with what you were talking about. I see the need for staying vigilant on all this, but I'm willing to bet my ass any which way you want to go on it that it's not going to come to pass, that everybody's trying to tie it together because of the Jade Helm thing, which has been ramped up in certain circles, and they're testing our reactions right now. They're taking data and figuring out how we react to these kind of things being floated. So that's where I stand on it, but I'm probably in the terribly disparate minority out there. So go ahead, though.
All right. Well, I made a show last week about Anonymous, basically reiterating. I did it over the phone with a friend. We talked about how it can be anybody. It speaks with one voice, and so it's inherently a psychotic entity. Yet it isn't it isn't a real, true anonymous entity, because the powers that be they the American governments, the British government, whichever governments or alphabet agencies, can make it an anonymous message and trick us, so to speak. They've fooled so many people into believing in some kind of like hero construct that is potentially can backfire on everybody who's subscribed to this anonymous thing. Another thing I did was I made a joke about it. I made the anonymous mustache upgrade kit, and we made jokes about, you know, you can get an anonymous mask for everyone in your family, and even the dog and grandma, and yeah, that they're made by slave labor. Um, you know, now that there's the TPP, it's legal, and
Of course.
We need 5 of them.
No, we don't. See, that's the thing. I don't want a Guy Fawkes representative mask.
I'm being stupid.
You know, I'm just
Oh my
no,
God, you
no.
don't
People
know any
might,
better?
no, sweetie. People might take that seriously.
They
I
don't
wanted to
take
make
anything
sure.
I say seriously. Don't worry
Oh,
about
don't
that.
say that. Don't say that. I guarantee you that there's at least a couple of people out there that think that you are probably so extremely brilliant and that even your jokes have special meaning. And I'm not saying that you're not brilliant, and I'm not saying that you don't have special meaning behind what you say, dear. I am just saying, okay. Sorry, James, go ahead.
I was also saying you get the ladies anonymous mask, so like, you know, you don't want to show off your facial hair. So you know, I was gonna design one, and I found a nice ladies anonymous mask. I was gonna put blush and eyeshadow and everything on it.
All right, let me ask you this: is the mouth opened or closed?
Is the what?
Mouth opened or closed?
It's got a little hole of.
Awesome. It's all good then.
Well, a little hole isn't going to accommodate me. I'm sorry. Okay.
Wow.
You can't fit your tongue through it. Just
Well, then it's useless, man. You got to make that hole bigger.
now, how about just make a big circular hole?
He doesn't know me.
There you go. No, you see, Kim,
You better teach him. Learn him quickly.
Kim goes in different directions than I do, and she's in control of this show, James. Just so you know.
No, I'm not. He's lying to you. But go on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Eastman. Go on.
You've all been had.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So, what else is on the go? I don't know. I'm putting out Biggest Lie 8. It's coming in the near future. I just got home from a 2-week hiatus on a farm where I was watching a dog that had diabetes. So, anyway, that's over.
Well, I hope your dog's okay.
Pardon me?
I hope is that your dog?
No, it's my friend's dog.
Well, I hope it's okay.
Oh, it's okay. She's blind too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, she's blind too, as in like me?
No, he's saying
No,
like
like
2
super
along with that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Super blind.
I thought that was my cue to get offended. I'm sorry. This show is a lot more loose, James. Just so you know.
You didn't warn him before he called in?
No, he just randomly contacted me, and I said I'm on the air with you during your
Never gonna
show.
call again.
No,
Sure he will.
As long as we can talk about anything and everything, that's
Absolutely. Actually, I watched one of your
movies.
things on YouTube. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, just for the listeners' clarification, of course, James Easton is the guy behind 9/11: The Biggest Lie, that series of movies. And, of course, he was a previous guest on, well, a couple of my shows, actually. The 9/11 special that I did last year, I did a 2-hour interview with him somewhere in the archives. I don't know the date off the top of my head.
Right.
But, and also, James, we're going to be talking soon again.
Yeah, I enjoy talking to you for sure. We our minds meld and we make sense to each other, and I it's good to know smart people out there. You know what I did tonight? I posted a thing that said, how to say, in retort to the Facebook community rules that state that basically they condone violence. They condone like pictures of babies' heads blown up and stuff like this. But if you put up a pair of boobies, whoa, watch out. Like they're gonna cancel your account or turn you off for a few days. I think this is ridiculous. So I put up a post to that effect, asking people to post their boobies at 9 p.m. tonight. And guess what? Nobody did.
Oh, wow. You got ripped off.
Well, it wasn't for me per se. It was just to make a point, a serious point. I figured anyone and their dog has a picture of boobies, so they could post it at 9 p.m. But that's too much to ask.
No, I hear you. You can't get anybody to do anything. That is alarming to me because you're trying to solve different, not solve, but make a stance and a presence about certain things that might bother you or that you feel very strongly about, and you can't even get a gathering of 35, 40 people to pay
Nope.
attention to it. It's
Well,
very frustrating.
they're too scared. They're chicken shit. They don't want to post those boobies because they'll get kicked out. But that's why I said 9 o'clock. Everybody, it's like the thing in class, where everybody in the class stands up at like 2, and the teacher's like, "What's going on?"
Right.
Like that. I learned that a long time ago. But
There's too many people that are conformist, and that's not a good place to be either. I mean, I don't think you need to be so far to the left that you're standing by yourself because it's kind of pointless. But if you're also, just bending down to conform, yeah, it's pointless too. You got to find a happy medium, and people don't want to do that because they don't want their precious things taken away, or they don't want to seem different from their friends and their little stupid circle of people. You got to speak up about what you believe in, or what's your point?
what's conformist is people accepting all these violent images, all these pictures of Gaza being destroyed and apartment buildings blowing up, and there's death upon death, and it's these Israeli assholes who own Facebook who want you to see that.
Well, I think everything is placed there for us to see.
Well,
I think there's there's a method to how they.
Madness?
Well, yeah, I think there's a method to how they explain things. Like I think I've been watching lately so many different 9/11 documentaries on YouTube. So forgive me if I got yours confused.
Okay.
But there's one that shows. I think it's the no planes one.
Okay, that's mine.
Okay, I did watch
yeah,
that.
it could be his. Yeah.
Where if you're not paying attention, I can't figure out how people don't see it. But you can watch the which he knows, but it's people who haven't seen it. You can watch how they've tampered with the live images and went back and fixed it. How there's that blip that's a second break for the person in the cut room to fix it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
How do you not see that? Oops. And where is the other plane that all of a sudden appeared out of nowhere? They had that shot spanned out so far.
The wide shot.
The wide shot.
Yeah.
There's no airplane.
Yeah, and then whoop, there's the plane.
There it is. Holy shit! Where'd that come from? I mean, come on now. How did people not see this?
I've talked to some people in New York, and they're all like, "Yeah, we didn't hear a plane. Must have glided in." They make excuses for it.
Right.
And the thing that I saw lately that is really damning is the fact that there's no vortices in the smoke that's coming out of Tower 1. There's no vortex of the plane engines causing the swirl of the smoke.
Right.
There's no swirl. And even when it hits the tower, there's no swirl. So I am 100% against planes hitting the towers on 911. And I would argue further that if there was no plane at the Pentagon and there was no plane at Shanksville,
Oh, absolutely not.
why the hell would there be planes at the Twin Towers?
Well, that's true.
What do you want to do? With that?
Vince, give me a second because I got somebody else who's calling in too. Lee, this is for Lee who called in before, and I told you to wait a few minutes for us to get back to the 9/11 thing. Mr. Easton, we have a friend of ours that wanted to talk to you about 9/11. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Lee, give a call back in. I'm sorry that I didn't answer the first time.
It's all right. I can put him in.
Oh, all right.
I can put it.
Chuck's gonna
I'll
add
put
you.
him in first, then I'll put Vince in, and
Okay.
then the chaos will ensue.
Well,
Okay.
I know 9/11 was, a few years back, but I think it's important to keep it fresh in people's minds because the next one is coming,
That's right.
and we need to make people aware that you're being lied to. I think it's a made it happen on purpose, a MyHop. I don't think it's a let it happen. I think our government made it happen.
Oh, okay, Lee corrected the noise. He was very noisy there for a minute. So
Okay.
just gonna
Hi,
tell him.
Lee.
Lee Bracker.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm in a Starbucks again,
I know that.
and they just turned on the vacuum right when you called.
Oh, shit.
They're about ready to close, so I'm just going to walk outside.
Mr. Easton has been. Have you watched any of his documentaries?
No, I don't believe I know.
He's the guy who made 9/11: The Biggest Lie.
I've seen quite a few, but maybe not that one.
It's one of the ones that goes with the assumption that there were no planes in New York City.
Oh, okay. The holographic.
Well, not
Well,
necessarily how. Let James
James
explain it
explain
to you,
it.
but I was just giving you a general idea in case maybe you'd seen it. But let James explain it to you.
Okay.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, James.
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. It gets better and better every day. I had a really good week.
Oh, that's good. So you have a question for me?
No, well, I don't know. Do you know Judy Wood real well, or?
I know her fairly well. I never met her, but I've seen videos and I had her book.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's actually what I was asking. If you knew her personally, is really how I should have asked.
No, I don't. Do you?
No, and I tried to get in touch with her too because I did a study of my own regarding Hoover Dam,
Okay.
and because of that and out of that research that I did, I had to ask her questions and just kind of let her know what I was doing, and she just never returned any of my calls or email or anything. So I kind of blew that off. It's just like, you know, I didn't want to get in touch with Richard Gage either because he's sort of into his own little world.
Yeah. I recently came across something about Tower 2 that was put out by Loose Change, which depicts the core alignment in the wrong direction, which is indicative of the fact that there's some foul play going on. That this movie that they charge people to watch shows the wrong core alignment, which suggests that an airplane mashed through the core columns, which isn't the case. In Physics 9/11, a movie I put out with an engineer named Steve Grage, we explain in detail how the airplane should have sort of gone through the building by the fact that it would not have hit the core, and except for the left wing and the engine. But we also argue that plane parts should have fallen off the plane.
Oh yeah,
The wings, everything. But
engines falling down to the ground, the whole deal.
You betcha. These buildings were made of steel, and the airplanes were made of aluminum. And
Yeah.
There's really no feasible way for this to happen the way they showed it happening. The airplane just goes through the building like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
And
But a passport survived it all, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
I laugh about that. It's just a big joke.
So now, as for the collapses, I call them the detonations. The Judy Wood theory I support insofar that they could have had a mixture of different ways to destroy the building, but I have footage that shows the white flashes from detonations going off from various floors as Tower 2 is coming down, and you can also see it. There's a very up close and personal shot of the area of incident, where you can definitely see white flashes, and there's no accounting for, unless it was doctored, for a progressive collapse. Just doesn't add up. Plus the fact that like 2 or 3 floor sections blow out simultaneously. If it was a successive collapse, it would be floor after floor after floor after floor, but it isn't. It's sections of floors, like 2 or 3 floors at a time. You see explosive force coming out, and not to mention the fact that the building, the top of the building, the top falls off, and it doesn't add up the way it falls off. It conveniently lands right on top of Building 4 and completely destroys Building 4.
Right.
Which was the building that had my buddy John, who he used to work in Building 4, told me what was in it, but there's so many details I just don't remember exactly what. But there was a gold heist going on. There was the destruction of Building 7 and Building 6 to get rid of empty vaults, and they got away with gold.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if you didn't have video of, because like I said, I did watch your videos, and you can see where those detonations are happening before the building starts coming down on top of each other. The floors come down.
Right.
Even if you didn't have that video showing those flashes, you take into account how many other high-rise buildings have caught fire and have burned for 18 hours and are still standing.
Right.
And I've seen buildings be wired to bring them down. A building doesn't naturally fall that way. So
No, it doesn't.
why don't people, I cannot understand, and it makes me so angry that people do not see this.
You would have an asymmetrical collapse if the situation was as it's been presented, where a fire, even if you give it the idea that it could have produced the heat that would have created global failure in the structure, you would not have had such a symmetric, such a very symmetrical collapse.
It fell perfectly into its footprint. That just doesn't happen unless it's a controlled demolition.
Well, in fairness, it wasn't perfect, but you might as well have been.
Right.
It fell. The
Damn
two
near,
towers
huh?
fell in 10 seconds flat.
Mhm.
Same thing. That's to say there was no resistance, and these cores, they were like the strongest bloody pieces of architecture ever built, and it just doesn't add up at all.
Vince, you wanted to say something? I'm sorry, honey, I interrupted you.
That's okay. Look, I'm going to try to be serious this time.
Okay, that'd be good.
Even if I am still naked. But no, I've known James for quite a while. I've seen a lot of what he's put out. He is no different than you, Chuck, myself, anybody listening right now in chat, Captain Gringo, Road Dog. I can back up through there. There's some others in there. But
all right,
listen,
our listeners,
we're all trying to make sense, right? We're trying to make sense of what's going on in the world. I've got a lot of respect for James. I may or may not agree with everything he says, but you know what? Mostly I agree because, look, he's trying to make sense of what's going on. You, me, and everybody else. Okay?
right, it's a different point of view.
Exactly.
Needs to be examined.
Look, this fellow right here, just like anybody else, there are so many people with so many different ideas, okay? Can I say that? And then not pause? If I say, okay, I got to pause. Okay. That was a pause. Now, here I go again. Look, everybody has some type of supposition about what happened, but like I spoke about, and Walter earlier tonight, today, we spoke and discussed trivium and communication. Okay, so there's got to be a place where we all got to say, all right, I don't know, and you may not know, but we've got to agree that there is probably something that ain't quite right, and that's where. And I was talking about this earlier, the difference between trivium, nonviolent communication. There's got to be a point where we can merge together and have a discussion.
Well, that's what was going on.
There's not something right about what's going on in the world today. And I'll pause and hand it back.
Well, I think we can all agree that it wasn't 19 hijackers storming a cockpit with a friggin' box cutter. I mean, come on.
That's the minimum of the agreement.
You know,
here.
we can all agree on that, and everybody has a different theory as to what happened, but I think we can all agree that, it isn't as they say it was.
And
I like to say that it wasn't how it happened. Like we get hung up on the how.
Right.
You know, we fight with each other over whether it was detonations, mini nukes, or do weapons, but we should be really going after the people that we know are in it.
Are responsible, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's pretty clear. George Bush and his family, his father, his brothers, and you got the Saudis, you got the Israelis, the dancing Israelis. They're in it.
Okay, I need to interrupt for one moment.
Go ahead.
All right, well, I'm going to go back to the conversation I had with Walter this morning. You've got to take and consider with who, what, when, where, and then you can get how. If not Hal, not Hal Anthony behind the woodshed, not who, not the World Health Organization, not the owl that says hooty who, but the who, what, when, and where, and then you can ask how, okay?
Well,
So
where's
many
the
times we all miss this, not classical trivium, but the trivium method, and not the violent communication, because we need to allow each and other, a certain point where we can diverge and say, look, I don't believe what you're saying. That's okay, but we need to see where, when, how, and what all this shit means, and put it all together. So,
You're also forgetting the why, though. I think that is
Yeah,
as
well,
important as all the other ones, too. There was a reason why they did it.
The why answers a whole lot of other questions, is what the deal is.
Yeah.
And
They opened Pandora's box on 9/11/2001, and ever since then, it's been they've elicited a series of horrible shit on the world, and it's coming to a head.
yep.
Right. Lee,
I-
do you want to add something, Lee?
Yeah, I'd like to know how they faked the planes going in there. And one of the videos that I saw was, and it really did look like it was video shopped of a plane. They saw the wing sort of disappear, go transparent through a building as it passed through, but it didn't break off. It just passed through, so it looked like they made an error.
Well, the trouble with that, of course, is the how they made the planes and all that is a whole that's not a singular question, because the how is okay. How did they create the imagery for television? That's one thing. How did they create the bunches of people that swear that it was a plane? How did they? There's a lot of hows for how did they fake the planes.
The how is a few chapters.
Yeah, it's a few chapters,
Right.
that's for sure. Like, I really do appreciate the fact that Rebecca Roth was on with me discussing this, because her explanation is pretty interesting, using some of the evidence like the phone calls and stuff like that, and deriving quite a few interesting tidbits from those alleged records of the event, right? This gives us some very strange indications of things that didn't happen. Okay? There wasn't a hijacking in progress based on what we're hearing from those phone calls, if they're supposed to be phone calls emanating from a hijacking. And the way that they emanated is also a problem. So once you sort of unravel it from that direction, you've got a whole different set of hows. How did they switch planes, or how did they switch objects when it comes to film, or when it comes to the real life, or when it comes to, there's a whole lot of different directions here. And that's what James tries to cover in his films, by the way.
Well, how do they get so many people quieted about whether they saw planes go there or not? There are 12 million people.
Let me tell you,
Several thousand, hundreds of thousands maybe, or several hundred would have been looking in the direction of the buildings at that time.
Okay.
But did they see it or did
let
not,
me jump
or
on
what?
this. I'm hot to go. Here we go.
Yeah.
I just did 9/11 The Biggest Lie 7, and it covers how people were looking at Tower 1, the plane hole. That's the point of interest. People were looking. Now, the south of the tower, there was just a little bit left of Manhattan Island, and so some people could have seen the explosion in Tower 2, say from Battery Park or anywhere getting closer. But the point being that most people in the 17-minute window made their way up to see the plane hole, because that's fascination. It's people want to see the.
It was where the action was.
Yeah, and I have footage of a guy saying, "Yeah, there was an explosion," and he doesn't talk about a plane. Now, remember, on 9/11, on 9/10, Donald Rumsfeld said that $2.3 trillion went missing or was unaccounted for in the coffers for the Pentagon. So that would suggest that they had money, lots of it, to pay people off to lie about seeing a plane. And there's 503 first responder eyewitness accounts, and of those 503, which were not admitted to the 9/11 Commission report, only 8 people said they saw and heard a plane. So what does that tell you? Now, as for holograms, I don't believe in it. Holograms are laser projections. They're etched into a film, and there's something you see on a wall. Or remember the old National Geographic magazine that had the first hologram on it? They don't have projected holograms. That's a myth. And anything called blue beam has nothing to do with holograms. What they did was they used CGI. They used computer graphics animation to insert the planes on the live news chopper shots. All they had to do was set up a mask layer on, this is if you know your film stuff, you just set up a mask layer, and you have a pre-made plane fly past the mask layer. And it creates the illusion that an airplane's passing Tower 1 and hitting Tower 2. All 3 news live chopper shots did not catch the explosion into Tower 2. They were on the other side of the buildings. And last but not least, there are people that did see no plane hit a tower. And those people would be ostracized and given a hard time, and people would call them crazy for not seeing the plane. And guess what? If anyone took video of this, you can bet that the FBI showed up at their door, because George Bush was a bully, and he made sure that they didn't want to let anything slip through.
And let's just say this about mass suggestion from what I know about media study. Here's the thing, and I know everybody gets pissed JFK, but just a tidbit to throw in there. There have been dozens of individuals that I've interviewed who were living in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963, who have sworn to me that they witnessed the assassination live on television. Okay? Mm-hmm. Without a doubt, as if they know their own name, that is what they saw.
Right.
But the fact is, it was not broadcast live. Okay? It wasn't broadcast live. The film, which we are now quite accustomed to all these many years later, has been superimposed in their memories, not necessarily because they were paid to lie, not necessarily because they were directed to lie, but what has happened is there is sort of a transposition of later reality into the memory.
Was that like conditioning almost?
It's but this is why certain images were allowed to emerge. Mm-hmm. This is why, during the first week, one of the films, I believe was the Muchmore film, was already being shown in movie theaters and things like that.
Oh, wow.
Immediately, this stuff was seized upon by certain media assets, and you can take a look at the, C.D. Jackson, Time Life, nexus of individuals that made sure that these things were distributed, so on and so forth. But the thing is, there are a lot of times that people have a transposition of newly acquired ideas that have some sort of relation to a traumatic event, and they will introduce them. And this is a psychological phenomenon, and it's real. It happens. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. Once the idea that there were airplanes that did this was introduced into the mass witness pool,
suggestion.
You have suggestion on a systematic scale that occurs not even necessarily, like I said again, because the individuals involved are liars. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that they're all truthful either. That's a ridiculous statement. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that there's actually sort of a semi-innocuous answer for why it is that others claim to have seen planes. And realize, I'm defending this spot, and I'm not even saying that I absolutely agree that there were no planes. I'm just saying that this is a reasonable explanation of how it is that people that didn't witness planes could claim that they did.
And there are videos.
Let me jump in just a second when I can.
Okay.
There are videos. There's video of on 9/11 of witnesses, so-called witnesses that saw the plane, and their stories are lame. One guy is like probably about 16, 18 years old. He smolders under the weight of this. He has to lie to the camera, and he's not even able to talk barely. But it's not because he's in remorse or
shock.
Yeah, it's because this is the biggest bloody lie you could tell somebody, and there's so many other people that are lying that you can tell. One woman is acting like she's crying, but there's no tears coming out. She was there. She witnessed 2 planes. And by the way, most of these people have the last name, a Jewish last name, and that's the way it is. Now people will argue, oh well, hey, a lot of people in New York are Jewish. Well, it just so happens that a lot of people in New York that saw the planes are Jewish.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Well, I tell you what, we've only got like 7 minutes left. So
Vince had something to say, and then just go around.
Wow, that's
Anybody
fast.
might want to add into it.
yeah, Vince, you wanted to add something?
Thanks. First of all, I'd like to say that I've known James for quite some time. He has put forth a lot of good information on this, as has a bunch of other folks. I just like really just to wrap this up, and I'll try to be quick, and I won't be because obviously I ain't right now. But we all have our own opinions. We really need to go back to the trivium and to make sense of it, because if we start from a presupposition, we're probably going to be wrong. And I ain't saying you're wrong, I'm right, or anybody else for that matter. But
Vince, are you part of 9/11 Truth?
say again?
Are you a part of 9/11 Truth?
Well, I would call myself that, yes.
Not the specific organization, just the general idea, Vince. That's what he meant. Before we run out of time, I understand. Check out the Trivium and check out all the stuff with the souvenir event, which is also heard on here on UCY. Check it all out. He goes through all this stuff. I do support that idea. Go look into it. But Lee Bracker, you had something that you wanted specifically on the conversation to add?
Where'd
Lee?
go?
Okay. I had a text message from him saying he wanted to speak. Not hearing you, Lee, if you're trying to speak.
About now.
There we go.
That's good.
Go ahead.
I got a bad microphone. Real
Alright.
quick,
Yeah,
just
we
because
got
it's a
about
little
5
bunch of
minutes.
information to go through, so I'll try to do it. What I've been doing is a study on Hoover Dam, and now they came out with the new movie San Andreas, and they show Hoover Dam being destroyed. And I did a 2-year study on it based on somebody else, you probably know him, who theorized that they were going to destroy Hoover Dam. And I kind of came up with the conclusion that they're going to destroy him the same way Dr. Judy Wood claims through her empirical study on the trade towers that they did it. But I looked at all different angles on this. So So I don't know where I'm going to go with this because there's not enough time to talk about it. So maybe I'll just share this with you in private, and then perhaps we go on again.
Right, Mr. Easton,
the
I
thing-
would love to have you come back on maybe next Saturday if you're not busy to continue the conversation of 9/11. Because for me, I lived right across the bay and watched it burn, and it's very dear to me because this is when my eyes were open to the bullshit.
All right, I'll have to push
Gotcha.
back. I'll have to push back the show I wanted to do with him and wait for you to do yours first.
Oh no, do yours.
I don't like to
'cause-
overlap with
no,
you.
you do yours because yours is mine is just
No, let him do next Saturday, and then we'll do the following
All right,
week.
We'll
There's a
talk about
mountain
that.
of bullshit, so don't worry. There's enough for both.
There's plenty
Yeah,
enough for both
plenty to
shows.
spread around.
Exactly.
I hear you on that. Well, James, if there's places that you want to point people to go look at, because I think I have maybe 4 minutes before my music comes on, so people can go see your work. I think it's very important to get that out as well.
Yeah, real quickly before James gives that information, NWOCSI is Lee Bracker's thing. Check it out. There's all kinds of stuff on Project Bluebeam, by the way,
Right.
James, just so you know.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
trying to be
no.
rude.
I don't care. I just thought that was pretty funny because
Right.
you directly said something about that, and so you guys might have an interesting conversation later.
Right.
Vince Easley, of course, everybody knows from UCY. He's all involved with a lot of different stuff, networking, chat rooms. He used to have a show on here. I think he might have one coming up again soon, and he's a guest on a lot of different shows, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
He's somebody who posts for all of our shows at different times and all that. James Easton. 9/11, The Biggest Lie. That's how you can find him on YouTube real easily. But there's other stuff you do as well, James. So Now you can go ahead and speak to that, sir, yourself.
Yes, please.
All right, on Facebook, it's 9/11: The Biggest Lie, and there's actually 8 films. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, not 6, 7, 8's coming out, and there's one called Physics 9/11, and basically after 2, it's all no planes. Everything I have to say has nothing to do with airplanes, and everything to do with how they did it. And it's all incremental because there's various people involved that you would not expect. And that being said, it's a very serious, heavy-handed conspiracy that has the world fooled, and it's been the impetus for a lot of bad shit to happen and 2.5 million people to be murdered. So it's important to know the truth. I would like to proffer that 9/11 Truth and AE 9/11 Truth are involved. That's for another discussion.
Okay.
Right. It is Mr. Eason's opinion that they're involved in the conspiracy to cover up ever after. And tell you the truth, with my interactions with AE 9/11 at this point, I gotta say I got heavy suspicions as well about the fact that there's a very controlled conversation going on there. I'm sorry to say.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for calling in, James, and I would really love to have you come back on. We can talk in private as to which show when and whatnot. But
yeah, we'll sort it out because
yeah.
I definitely want to do a show with you, and Kim would love to do a show just discussing 9/11 with you because she's a lot newer to a lot of these concepts, and I think you'd really enjoy a full conversation with James.
I would.
So. There we go. Like I said before, 9/11, The Biggest Lie. That's the easiest way to find them. And also, you got the other page on Facebook, too. You want to point people to that?
We started a new page. It's called Universal Truth Council. And that is about filtering out in your news feed all the really good, juicy, true things and putting them on this page so that when people can go to one place and it's all juicy truth.
You got it. Exactly. And I'm actually an editor on there, I think. So, yep.
Yes, you are. Well, again, I'd love to speak with you anytime because this is one of those, between vaccinations and 9/11 are two things that I'm really focused on. So it would be I think it would be a great 2-hour show.
Right. And we want to thank everybody who decided to tune into Jaded tonight.
Yes, and for calling in. I wasn't trying to be rude. I just want everybody to get a chance before the bumper kicked in. So
yeah.
if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry.
Just trying to make sure the conversation stays coherent.
We'll talk soon.